Welcome back to Savouring Success, guys. Ricardo, how are you, man?
I'm good, mate. How are you?
I'm very good. So, Ricky, tell us what the topic of today's podcast is going to be about.
Like I did in the last video, I'm going to start this video off with a quote because I feel like they're quite a nice vibe. Sets the tone for things in terms of what we're going to talk about now.
Yeah.
Getting lost along your path is a part of finding the path that you are meant to be on.
I like the quote, but tell us a little bit more why you chose that quote.
More so now, especially, I feel like there's a big pressure on supposedly knowing what it is that you want to do with your life.
Yep.
It could be cultural pressure, could be from your parents. There's a lot of pressure from social media. There's a lot of people which, in a way, feel like behind.
You know what I mean?
Like a lot of people didn't become millionaires and didn't become really successful until they were in their 50s, 60s.
That's the majority of people.
That is the majority of people, but obviously social media painting this picture that everyone becomes super rich, young, and living this lavish lifestyle. And then the majority of the population and young kids and young guys are probably looking at it thinking, why am I not doing that? Putting themselves down, which then in turn, in the end, probably creates and doesn't help for things like depression and anxiety and mental health issues in there. So yeah, if your boys come to you one day with that issue, how do you approach that as a father? How are you going to approach that?
It's a bit of a tricky question because, in a sense, kind of want the kids to go to high school, to uni, to do really well in academic courses and things like that. But in another way, I kind of understand where we are at the moment. So it's a little bit difficult. I think it will depend a lot on the kind of kid that you have or the kind of person you are. If, for example, if you find that not having a reliable paycheck at the end of the month, trying to come up with your own ideas, solving problems is not your thing, then I guess just going the route of getting a job, getting a paycheck, end of the month, that's your thing.
Say that you've got like a 16, 17, 18-year-old. Maybe they don't want to go to university. We've talked about this before. And they say, but I don't know what I want to do.
Yeah.
There's this kind of, is having the dream job, is it a myth?
I think the dream job comes to doing what you really enjoy. With me and you are both examples of this. I joined my dad's business. That wasn't what I enjoyed. I did enjoy the part of talking to people, or meeting different people, being in different settings and all of this. And then I ended up enjoying it. But
like parts of it, not...
Yeah, not the whole thing.
Yeah.
So having the dream job is, like, for example, if you're an artist, if you do art and you enjoy painting and you enjoy doing that and you end up selling your art for money, and then that would be like a dream job, I think. Try your best to do what you love.
Did you make a hobby a job?
Well, that's kind of what I'm doing with cigars. It wasn't a hobby. It was like kind of something I fell into, and I enjoyed it. Then I saw the business side of it, and it became a job, a business, and I really enjoy it. So if you can, the only thing that I see, and I see it myself, is like after smoking so many cigars and doing this day in, day out, it becomes a job. Some people fall out of the love of it, because now it's a job, 9 to 5, you got to do it here, you got to go there.
It becomes a chore.
It becomes a chore.
Yeah.
But it is a better chore to do this, that I enjoy, than to do something I hate, for example. Yeah. So it depends on how hard it hits you, because in my case, I was content that I probably do this, and this is the side business that I'm building, about 40 hours a week. Yeah. And I enjoy them all.
Yeah.
I do recording, I do paperwork, I do computer stuff. Like, I do a lot of things, and I enjoy doing it.
I like that. Enjoy a chore rather than do something you hate.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Just for the money, for example. Something you hate just because good money.
Yeah.
I don't think... I wouldn't advise that to my kids or to anybody else, because it will come to a point that it will be sacrificial, and you are going to end up giving up or just like changing it for something else completely opposite.
Yeah.
And yes, sometimes the hobby that becomes a job, you end up hating that hobby. Yes, that can happen as well. But like I'm saying, at the moment, I'm enjoying what I'm doing, which I think is really cool. You also joined your dad's business. but you love being a chef.
It's very difficult with family, and I suppose this comes down to expectations and pressures as well. You know, it's not just, there's cultural pressures in terms of expectations, what you're supposed to do. There's social media telling you what you're supposed to do. Then you've got like your parental pressures telling you what you're supposed to do based on their experience and their life. And I think a lot of people in our position do join kind of family businesses, don't they? And I'm grateful for it. Like, about life, there was a period in between where, in my early 20s, where I left, and which is where we met. I wanted to be a fitness coach and personal trainer. I was competing and done all that, and I loved it. And I very much took the advice. Like, there used to be a saying back in when we were growing up, was always, you know, find what you're passionate about and then learn how to monetize it.
Yeah,
which was great. And I learned a lot from that period that I was doing it for as well. I mean, it was quite a while. And then, but what I realized is it became a chore.
a chore.
Like, I spent my whole life in the gym. I've always loved working out, whether it was martial arts, bodybuilding, whatever it was. But then after so many years of doing it, it started feeling, I don't know, I started getting a different feeling from it. And then it starts translating into your own training, and from my experience, that kind of topic. So I don't know if it's the right answer to turn a passion into the example I'll always use is, you know, the guy who's making millions of pounds selling steel. I don't think he woke up one day and went, you know, I'm really passionate about steel. It really gets me going. I want to sell it. You know, you kind of fall into it, and I think the job of the parent is to just provide as many paths as possible.
Yeah.
Because within those paths there will be side roads where you'll find what it is that you like. I mean, I talk about the restaurant game because I've been brought up in the restaurant game. So someone coming to work in the restaurant might do a little bit of experience in the kitchen and realize the kitchen's not for me, I just don't like it. They might do a little bit of experience waitering and they don't like it, but what they did like was working in the bar.
Yeah.
And then from there, their career could, maybe they fell in love with coffee and they become coffee experts and they open their own coffee shop, or they like being a barista, they become mixologist or cocktail person, whatever, you know. And it's like, but you would have never got that experience if you hadn't have just gone to work in a restaurant. Or another thing, maybe you really like being with people, speaking to people, maybe you're good at upselling, maybe you're good at selling wine. That could lead you down a road of sales. So I think those that are feeling behind is not wrong, because I think, as the quote was saying, feeling lost is part of your path. It's part of your journey, because feeling lost takes you down a different road, which then you discover what it is that you like. And it might take you 20 years, 30 years, 10 years, whatever.
Yeah.
But I think that's part of your path, and don't believe the whole hype around social media.
When you look on social media, there's only a couple of people.
Yeah.
It's just that we see them a lot. And you think everybody's doing it. I never thought I would be having a cigar business. Never. Okay, I didn't like smoking. I thought smoking, because my experience with smoking was cigarettes. I didn't like that.
Yeah.
Then I got into cigars, knew about the business, learned about the business. Now I have a cigar business. It's a matter of finding your passion, and I want to be careful about saying this, because
there's no rush to find your passion.
Yeah, or don't just the first thing that you like think, oh, that's my thing, and you invest all your money there, and then you have like 20 businesses because you've just been trying and trying and trying.
Yeah.
You gotta actually think about it, research about it, really think, put yourself in different positions. You might have a passion for like being an artist, for example, yeah? But you are bad at business.
Yeah.
Yeah? And then because you're bad at business, you think you're bad at having, like, you're not a good artist, like that's not
being
your
a
thing.
successful artist.
Yeah. And that happens a lot. I see that a lot.
Yeah.
You can easily, you know, get, obviously at the beginning it's a lot harder and stuff, and you know, my boys, obviously I think that's our job, trying to help them. But you can get somebody to run the business for you and you just become the artist. Yeah?
It's the art of delegation.
Yes.
The right role to the right person.
Something that I think is really important.
Yeah, you learn those along the way in business, though. That's, you know, the same thing with the restaurant is, you know, my position, I love the kitchen, I cook. Can I run the floor? Yes. Do I enjoy running the floor? Not really. I want to go out on my own terms. If I got people out in the restaurant, in the front of house, then I'll go out and see them when I'm ready, when I can. But with in the front of house, you always have to have this persona, this smile ready for, you know. And I didn't like that, so I put someone capable to run it, essentially.
Nice.
Which is a forever changing thing within the restaurant game at the minute. Has its difficulties, but that's more like when you go deep into the realms of business at that point. The art of delegation, yeah, it's like you can have a business, but if they say if you want to go hard, go on your own. If you want to go far, go with a team.
Yeah.
Because you can only go so far.
And a lot of these YouTubers, Instagram, and social media people that we see, that's how they made it.
They have a team.
They get a team behind it.
Yeah.
At the beginning,
It seems like they're on their own.
YouTubers.
Yeah.
A lot of YouTubers, for example, they do start on their own. But then when they start getting money, they build a team. And that's the key to turning a hobby into a business that you enjoy. In my opinion.
What if you don't want a business? You just want to do something you enjoy?
And then go for it, man. There's nothing wrong with it.
Yeah.
You know, like I said, my son loves football. I try to take him every football game and training, all this stuff. He might become a footballer. I hope so. I see it very difficult because it's such competition.
Yeah.
Not that I don't think he's good. I think he's actually good, but there's kids that are like really good as well. So it's really difficult. But if you have something that you really enjoy, I think you shouldn't give up on it. And if you can monetize it, then that's great.
Yeah.
If you can monetize it but you hate the business part of it, build a team around it. And I mean, having a business that you enjoy is really good.
Yeah.
It's cool. You go to bed thinking about it, you wake up thinking about it. I mean, I'm sure you're the same with Sarda Wines, I'm the same with Toro Puro. Thinking of, or you're talking to people and you're like, okay, that's a good idea, we're going to try this out. It is so involving. And some people might look at it and like, oh, but you don't stop thinking about business. I'm sure it happens to you. Your head is always...
Every minute, every day.
But it's a matter of thinking about business that you have to survive and you got to do this because you have to do it. Or your head is always thinking about it because it's something you really enjoy. Like, I have fun with it. I love doing what I'm doing.
Yeah. I think it becomes fun though. The more you learn, like you're as you go through time, you know, as business goes through time, business is changing. As you go through time, you're changing at the same time. And you figure, I think a lot of these things you figure out along the way.
Yeah.
I think we're also assuming that everyone has work ethic. Because then I suppose the other problem is, I mean, if you sat there whinging about you don't know how, what you're supposed to do with your life, or you don't know what your passion is, but there's no backbones with you, there's no work ethic, there's no go out and get it. You know, I always, and this is one thing that I would say to my boys is that if you don't know how to solve whatever is going on in your life, you don't know which direction to go. The first thing you should always be doing is working on yourself. Be it mentally, read books, learn, educate yourself, physically, get fitter, get better, get in shape. Once you kind of do those things, it kind of paints this, or develops this
drive.
it develops this mindset of like discipline, get shit done. And I think you take a different approach, which then is a better approach to look at those things with.
Yeah. Which, I mean, if you go back to some of the videos that we've spoken about, you know, being lazy and all of this.
Yeah.
Obviously, here what I've been talking about is thinking of a person who has drive, who wants to do a business, who wants to turn maybe a hobby into a business. But yeah, I mean, obviously, if you're just a bum, you got to start fixing that first before you start delegating and thinking about other stuff.
100%.
But it's not impossible. I've seen a lot of people who, I had friends actually that weren't very driven, and it's like something clicked and then just took over.
Yeah.
You don't really have to be a slave to your passion or to a business or whatever. I mean, there are people out there who they just make business deals. They're like mediators and stuff. They don't really come up with anything. They don't really.
They just enjoy making money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they link people together. Like, so you, and then they get a percentage. So you want to do this? This guy's got the money. I put you two together. I get a cut. And you don't have to invent anything. You don't have to come up with ideas. Basically, just be a people's person.
Arguably, especially when we talk about business, you know, they're kind of the ones that actually make the money, though.
Yeah.
You know, it's always the middleman that makes the money, not the producer or the consumer. It's the middleman that makes the money.
If you are lucky to come from a family that already had money, which again, social media shows us all of these people, but we don't know, but it doesn't show us where they come from. And a lot of them do come from money. And that's why it's so easy for them to go to Goyard and Louis Vuitton and drive a Lambo and things like that. And they're like, oh, I done it by myself. It's like Trump doing it by himself when he had $1 million loan from his dad. Like, he doesn't compare
I also don't think that, I mean, in your 20s, like, you shouldn't really be focused on making money. I think you should be focused on...
Well, if you have the opportunity, I say...
Not making money is in terms of, like, becoming filthy rich. I think your main focus should just be on improving yourself and just busting your ass. Yeah. The more money you earn, better. And learn how to put it aside or invest it. But don't make, like, the money coming in your bank your primary goal. When you get to your 30s and your 40s and you have families and things, then, you know, you start not reaping the rewards, but, you know, being a bit more clever and smart, conscious of how much money is coming in. But I think you should just get your head down and graft on yourself, which then in turn will improve whatever it is you're doing.
Especially the world we live in, with so many ads and buy this, buy that, and everybody wants to look a certain way and spend, like, you gotta have this bag, you gotta have this watch. You end up spending all your money. Yeah. But if you're, which is something like what I kind of did, save up as much as I can, because when you find the business you want, you're gonna need money. Yeah. You know, when you're in your, like, mid-20s, early 30s, whatever, and you want to start a business, you need money for that business.
Just learn to be good with your money.
If you have a little bit of money aside, it helps you start off. It also, if you want to get somebody to invest, it's nice when they see that you've put your own money, you put, you know, you believe in what you're doing because
you got skin in the game.
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing. I think saving up and working hard is more important than the idea of finding the business when you're 20. Yeah, I want to do this for life.
Exactly.
I mean,
exactly.
Of course, if like footballer and you sign, like, that's different. But the average person.
Yeah, I think you put it aside, and when you're mature enough and smart enough to know what to do with the money, I think your 20s you should just be grafting and putting away money. If you're getting paid well, happy days. Just keep putting it away until the moment comes that you're ready to do something with it. And which I never did that. That's why I'm saying I would advise that someone do that. I never did that. You know, and I think trying to earn money from the business you're trying to build at the same time is very difficult.
Because you've got to invest. You've got to put
it takes money to make money. So
in. There's the other point you got to look at. Like, you're in your 20s. I want to enjoy life. I want to travel. I want to do this. I want to do that with my friends. Most of the time you have fun. But then that's not building towards your future.
Yeah. You're probably not thinking about your future in your 20s already.
Well, no, but that's what happens. Then you end up in your 30s and you're like, oh shit, where's my money go? Where's my time go? And I'm old, I didn't do anything. And then you get depressed and then you just down a spiral. But the real enjoyment comes as you get older, once you have your family, when you have your kids, when you have the friends that are your real friends that have been there for 10, 15 years. You guys are on the same page. It's a good group of people. Those are your real friends. Then you go on a trip with them. You're really going to enjoy it compared to going when you're like 20 and you get drunk and you have fights and people go different ways, and because it happens.
Especially through your teenagers and your 20s, as long as you eat right, you train hard and you work hard, I think you'll be alright in life. Yeah. Don't worry about if you figured out what your passion is, what you want to do. Just work your head down. You should be about work ethic and working hard. I think that is the main thing. Don't worry if you feel like you're behind. Most of the world are, even though it doesn't seem that way on social media. I think most of the world are.
If you're working hard in yourself and in your business and learning, you will be ahead.
You're already ahead.
As the majority of the world that are just doom scrolling. Yeah. You know, or wasting the time being playing PlayStation, being at home, doing nothing with their life. Anyway, I think that was a nice chat today. Yeah. We got your wine back. We're drinking some of the Sarda wine.
We have. It's all up and running. I think it will be live officially from January 2026. SardaWines.com will be up and running once again.
Nice. We were smoking today the Plasencia Reserva Original. very nice, smooth, creaminess.
Yeah, it is, yeah.
Paired really nice with today's wine and today's conversation. Anyway, Ricky, it's always a pleasure. If you guys haven't subscribed, make sure you subscribe. If you really want to help the channel, leave us a comment, save the video, or share with your friends. That really helps. Any questions? Just leave it below.
Yep. Ciao.
Ciao.